Hi, my name is Selma and I attend Abbey Park High School. I would like to introduce Curtis Carmichael. He's a social entrepreneur and an author from Scarborough, Ontario. He wrote Butterflies in the Trenches. I'm inspired by Curtis Carmichael because he has dedicated his life to supporting Black youth from low-income communities in Canada.
When I think back to why I wrote my book, Butterflies in the Trenches, I think back to when I was a kid growing up in Toronto community housing in Scarborough, which is the most culturally and ethnically diverse place in Toronto and Canada more broadly. When I think back to my life growing up in the hood, I remember always looking for a book as a child about someone who broke the cycle of poverty and equipped other young people to do the same. And I couldn't find that book when I was a young person. So when I got into high school, I kept looking for it. When I became an adult and ended up going to university, I kept looking for it. And then when I became an educator myself in STEM education, my students were not asking me for this book about someone who broke the cycle of poverty from the hood in Canada and also prepares them to prepare for the future of work. And I remember I couldn't find it still, so I decided to follow the words of Toni Morrison that said, if there is a book that you want to read that hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. So that's the reason I wrote Butterflies in Trenches, to prove that the hood, both locally and globally, is the most innovative and beautiful place on the planet. And all of us have skills and gifts. We just need the right platform and opportunity to unwrap our gifts. So I wanted to write a book to prove that success isn't making it out of your hood, it's making your life and your community better. What advice would you give to someone who is looking for their purpose or passion? When you're looking for your purpose and passion, I would say don't look external. The goal is actually to look internal. The more we understand more of ourselves, we deal with our own mental health. We carve out times in our life where we get away from the noise, get away from social media, get away from technology, get away from the noise in our house if we're living in an overcrowded house. You just get into moments where you go for a walk, you exercise, you go for a bike ride, you do something you're passionate about. When you create this space of just blank space, that's when you're able to receive. And I think that's the best advice I can give is create space for yourself to become more one with yourself and understand more of your internal life. And once you understand self, then it makes it easier to see life more clearly. Otherwise, when we don't understand self, we see everything like a fog. So definitely I would say the key to finding your purpose and passion is actually finding yourself first. And then you'll be able to see your purpose and passion more clearly. Did you ever experience obstacles and how did you overcome them? Obstacles are a part of life. We can't avoid them. Obstacles, you're either in the middle of an obstacle, an obstacle is coming, or you just overcame an obstacle. You're kind of in this cycle where obstacles are always happening. So the goal is to figure out strategies to overcome and embrace those obstacles. So when I think back to how I overcame them, a key way for me of overcoming them is thinking about my community, reaching out to people around me, my mom, my dad, my brothers, the boys in my hood, all the guys I grew up with, the OGs, the grandparents, the inmates on the inside, the teachers, the camp counselor. I used all these people around me in order to overcome obstacles. We don't go through life alone, and it's very important that we reach out to those around us who really love and care for us, and we use that as inspiration to keep going forward and inspiration to overcome those obstacles. How do you feel overcoming obstacles? I feel great. I feel amazing overcoming obstacles. But what most importantly is I always see obstacles as a teacher. In every adversity, there's a lesson. And I always say that we don't win and lose. We either win or we learn. So if we have that mindset that we win or we learn, then we're able to look at obstacles in a clear way to know that they're inevitable. Obstacles are always going to happen throughout life. So what we need to do is figure out how do we have a better knowledge of self and figure out strategies that work for us specifically. There's different tools and strategies that everyone could use to overcome obstacles. It's gonna be different for different people, but for me, I use exercise, mindfulness, meditation, I listen to music, I go for walks, I take a lot of bike rides. I have a therapist that helps me work through my past and different things in my past through trauma that I'm still dealing with in my adulthood. I have people around me that support me, my wife, my parents, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and then my friends and different people in my community, from the OGs to the grandparents. So I have a big structure of people around me that really support me. So it's good to have those different strategies. But I definitely feel great overcoming these obstacles, and it's inspirational because, yeah, you either win or you learn. So I'm always learning and growing, and I always know that we are always a work in progress. We'll never arrive, at a destination and never have obstacles again. We're always having different things to deal with. So definitely, thanks so much for this opportunity.